So open Visual Studio. And we are going to use system.xml namespace in order to use the API available. Whatever the API we have, system.xml, in that we'll be using all the classes and whatever the methods you have in each class, how to use them, those things will be highlighted. Now, another important thing, mm, if you want to have validations for your data, validations for your XML content, then you have to create one separate file. It means now I'm talking about two files. One is your .xml file, and in order to have validations to check for your data, you require to have another file also. That file will have extension as .xsd. XSD. Earlier there used to be a file called DTD, document type definition, older versions, and from then they have used, or they have introduced a new way of making validations for your XML data by using XSD file, XSD, XML schema document. Okay, let's begin then. File, new, project, Windows Forms application, browse, C drive, CS bash 6 pm, and here I'll give demo on XML. Click on OK. Okay. Now, before we go with accessing, before we go with what? Accessing. And another thing that also I'll highlight. What is the architecture you find to work with XML? That part I'll first highlight, and then we'll proceed. Here I write architecture of XML. So this XML is now what? One way to exchange data now. XML is also one way to exchange data across languages. Like you create XML data in C sharp, access through Java, or you create XML data in Java and access through what? C sharp. The XML is no universal text format. XML, UTF you call. Okay. Now how the architecture goes is, first you'll have first comes XML instance document. First part. What do you call? XML instance document. Okay. So this is one object that which we are going to have for XML. Okay. And you give this document Yes, this instance document. Now we are going to give for further processing. This is the data we have. Okay. Now who will receive this XML instance document? The moment it enters here, it is going to check whether your XML content is well formed or not. Yes, first it is going to check well formed, well formed. And what will happen in well formed? Syntax. It will check whether attributes in the XML or mm, so here it's better I write like is well formed. So it means you get to confirm, like it's going to check whether your XML content is well formed or not well formed. And if it acha, in well formed, what will happen? That compulsory one root node will be there. Then you'll have all element nodes, you'll have attributes, you'll have text node, data, all those things will be available in the process where we are checking for what? Whether document is well formed or not. Okay. Now, even this is a rule. I'll explain you what is well formed. I'll show you practically. Uh, if it is well formed, means if it finds this is successful, then it goes further. Now it goes further. Now, in this well form, after checking well form, now what we are going to see is now. Now what we are going to see is now it checks whether your document is valid or not. Third scenario is valid. It's going to check. First is well formed or not. After that, it is valid or not. When it will come to validation? If it is well formed, yes. Yes. If yes only, it comes to valid. How do you check validation? Here we have a point. Especially for validation, if you have validation, then you should create one special document here. A special document, I'm saying. Okay. What is it? I said old technique is DTD. I said old technique. Okay, I'll write both. Old technique. Document type definition. That is called DTD. XML schema document XSD. This is for validation. specially for validation. XML schema document, or what else? Document type definition. Anyone. So what is the current one we are using as a XFT? If it is not well formed here, and if it is not valid in both the cases, then it will lead to error. In both these cases, I'm talking both cases. If it is not valid and if it is not well formed, then it will lead to error. Okay, that part also let me write here. Two cases. I'll write yes, and second case no. If it is so, error. Okay, let's write all this. If yes, go further. If not well formed, if not valid, leads to error. Then, after that, what you have to do, if everything is fine here, then we go little further on this part now. Now we go. Yes. And here, what did I say? It will go for further processing. Okay. So I just mentioned here. Only in scenario, if it is yes only, I said. If it is no, you can find it will lead to error and to stop processing. If yes, then I write further processing. Further processing. Yes. Exactly on the basis of this content, you are going to make your XML available. Yes, this is the approach. Save and call architecture of XML. Okay. So now what exactly you need now? Document. So let's see them. How do you create that? Close. Come back. First, you require to have. First process. You need to have what? XML file. So add that file. Right click on the project, add new item, XML file. If you have validation, XML schema, XSD. But I'm not going to use XSD. If you need only file name, I'll call student.xml. Click on add. Yes, students.xml. And the first line of this file, you call it as processing instruction. And we begin students, then student 1001, student name S1, result passed. Copy paste this content second, third, fourth, five. 1002 S2 result failed. 1003 S3 passed. 1004 S4, here I write passed only. 1005 S5, and this is failed. Now, in this data, important is this one. Students is there now. This is root node. Root node. Root node. And another thing. Obviously, it is only for once you have now. Students, you have only for once now. Students is only for once. So for that reason, you call it as root node. Plus that students is in angle brackets, less than, greater than. It is in less than, greater than. That is the reason it is also referred as element node. Root node is also fine. Element node is also fine. And in that, another story is all the nodes which are in angle brackets, they are called as element nodes. Student here, this is also in angle bracket. This complete is in angle bracket. So element node. S name element node. Result element node. Roll number attribute node. Color itself differs. Element node is maroon color, and roll number attribute color is red. Data, this is value node 1001, appears in different color. S1 passed, they are in common color. So S1 is called text node. Passed is called, text node. Now all maroon colors, whichever you find, they are elements. That red color indicating attributes, blue color indicating value nodes, black color indicating text nodes. This is my XML content. Right, proceed now. Form1.cs design window. Go to toolbox, place a button. Go to properties, and here I write read XML data. Here btn XML data. Double click on the button. Now we are going to write the logic. As I already said, system.xml namespace is needed. Now I need to say here XML document doc equal to new XML document constructor. Yes, this document is your instance. Architecture. First, I have drawn a rectangle saying XML instance document. Now already I said this is instance, but it is nothing you have in it. Blank, no data. You have to bring it now. So to bring it, I should have my path of the file. See it, right? TS batch 6 PM. Demo on XML. Demo on XML. Here I'll have student. So I'll better copy this path. Close. Come back to your program. And I write document dot load, and I'll give the path, and I'll say here slash students dot xml semicolon. Students.xml. Now what is happening? Whatever data we have in the students.xml file, we are bringing that data or we are loading that data into this object. Yes, now your object contains XML content, XML data. And oh, here all errors are there. /c/d. Okay, so to remove the errors, do one thing. After load here somewhere, I just keep at the rate. Okay, that errors will go now. Okay. Now write message box dot show document dot outer XML. Bas, that's it. Over. Control F5. Now whatever the content you have designed for your XML file, that all will be in your object. If I click now, data, whatever it displays in the window and that message box, it will be coming from where? From XML file. Click. Yes, this is the data I have. But I haven't designed like this. My data is in a structured way. I could analyze thoroughly if I go through that file. I'm in a position to analyze thoroughly if you go to that file. But here, it's not giving me that explanation. So do one thing then. In order to get the data exactly the way I have designed, so I say here, I say document dot uh, preserve white space equal to true. Okay. Execute now. Click. Yes, this is how I designed my application. My XML file is like this, but earlier what it has displayed was not properly or was not clear for us in understanding. Now this gives you a clear picture. So from where did you get this? XML file. Who brought this? XML document class. Where it brought into an object. Using which method? Load. And who printed it? Outer XML property has displayed it. But now something important is, as you said, like students here, students, that is your root to node. I said first line is called what I said here, XML version 1.0 encoding. What is it called? First line. Use your chat panels and reply for it. First line of the file. Everyone. First line of this file, what do you call as it? XML file. XML file, we have version 1.0 encoding UTF-8. Anand? What is it called? What is this first line called? XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8. What is it called? Raghav, use chat panel and reply. Srinivas, you also. Romana, you also. Here, this line was there in the file. Here, students.xml. I already said, the moment I created this file, this line was ready-made available. And I said, this line is called processing instruction. This line is called processing instruction. Yeah, what are the types of nodes we have here? Nodes, N-O-D-E-S, not N-O-T-E-S, N-O-D-E-S. XML file containing how many types of nodes? Hmm, hmm, hmm. Correct. Yeah, Srinivas, correct. Yes, follow him. He has already answered two nodes. You can catch him and answer remaining. Root node, element node, text node, attribute node, value node. Altogether, five types of nodes are there: root node, element node, text node, attribute node, value node. Root node only one. Students is root node only one. It is root node plus also it is read as root node plus also it is read as. How you read this as? How you read this as? Element node. Because it is in angle bracket. So you read as element node. Yes. Okay. Now, however, but you know something? When I run my code and when I found my data properly arranged, now we have to understand, is this a best way of displaying or default what it has displayed was best for displaying? To get this data, to get this data, I added one line in my program. It's called preserve white space. After adding this line, it has become a proper, the formatted way of getting your output. But now to understand, let's see what is the story for this. Yes. Which is your root node asset? Students. Students is root. Under students, root node. Which is your first child node? Root node is students. Under students, which is your first child node? Which node is your first child node? Yeah, obviously. Obviously, by seeing that it looks like 100%, no doubt at all. Whatever you said is perfect. Under students, student is first child. This student, roll number 1001 is there. Huh? This looks to be first child node. Okay, looks I said. It means logically we are incorrect. That is the problem you have by using preserve white space. That is the problem you have. What we are seeing, as per that, what Srinivas said is also right. No doubt. Perfectly. Srinivas' answer is right. Student. But once let's justify so that you should not say student now. Okay. What is it then? Remember, after students, after students, internally, internally, preserve white space has added one tag. So between students and student, one tag is there which is not visible for us. That is break line, HTML tag, break line, BR. That is there between students and student. So indirectly now, break line is our first child and student becomes a child node under break line. It goes like that. So indirectly, student is our second child. That creates a confusion. That is what the point is. It's not you. It's not you four. It's even I found people who are experienced in .NET having 8, 9, 7, 8 years experience. When you ask questions on the XML part, because of they just go through the content of doing a program, but the technical things of XML is not known. There are many IT companies have seen where, especially my students, in my career, in my students to whom I have seen that good in XML, just like that you are hired, just like that. If you don't perform well in XML, still you may be getting a job, but even that initial starting package of your salary, then that may be reduced. Even in my experience, such IT companies have seen, where those institutes used to visit our those IT companies used to visit to our institute hiring our students, and I closely have seen some few companies saying like, good in XML, your salary will be around 18 to 20,000 for a fresher. If you are not good in XML, your salary will be around 13 to 14,000. See, it makes a lot difference. So you can imagine how important is XML in real time. How important is XML in implementation and working with data. You can imagine the importance of it. So now if I ask you, what is the position of this node 1004? What is the position of this node? Now it starts confusion. You can't say it is fourth child node, because already student roll number 1001 is not your first child. Above that you have break line, that is first child. Student roll number 1001 becomes second child. Again, above student roll number 1002 you have one more line, break line. Third, fourth, five, sixth, seven, eighth. 1004 is eighth node. So that confusion it creates. For that reason, it is better we avoid this. Don't try. That may create confusion in your child node. Now click. Now you see students. Continuation you have student. It means there is no break line here. There is no break line. Now you answer which is your first child node. 100% you are right. Your student roll number 1001. Now it is your first child. If you write preserve white space, then you are wrong. Understand, understand. Take your own time. You have any questions, you can interrupt me and ask. Don't wait, and don't wait for the video to reach you. Without understanding, even if you go through my video, the technical things may not help you. When exactly, Srinivas. But when you write preserve white space, if you don't write, no break lines, no break line, direct, no direct child notes. Now 1004 node 1004 node is index position wise. If you see, it is third node. Index position wise, 1001 is 0, 1002 is 1, 1003 is 2, 1004 is 3, 1005 is 4. 0 to 4. Index position wise, I'm saying, please. If I'm not talking about index, then it is fourth node, direct. I assume like 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1004 is your fourth node. Now I want to read. I want to read the content. Another technique. What is it? Here I write XML element. One more class. En students plural equal to document element. Just change this. Instead of doc, I write en student dot outer xml. Execute. Click on it. Yes. Is it same or different? Obviously different. No doubt it is different. Why? We are missing one line in it. Processing instruction is missing. That is the difference. Processing instruction is missing. Why? Because now using this XML element class, we brought only elements excluding processing instruction. Everything is there in this object now. In this object, XML element object is containing everything, everything except except processing instruction. If I use document object including processing instruction, if I use XML element object excluding processing instruction. Going further, now what I want is I want to access first child node. That student roll number 1001, that node is there, na? Only that node I want to access. How do you access? XML element en student single na student one only equal to, you write en students dot child nodes of 0, yeah, index position just a few minutes before I said. Anand, you're following or not? There is no response from you. Anand. Anand, are you there? Hmm. Okay. So what did you say here? En students dot child nodes of 0, 0th node. But it is giving error. It's not identifying. Why? Why it is giving error? Okay. This is the reason. This is the reason. Just put your cursor on child node. And you can see here. Child node. You see here. Child node is a property of what? XML node. Which means XML node is a parent class. It is a parent class. Bottom you see message cannot implicitly convert type system.xml.xml node to system.xml.xml element. An explicit conversion exists. So it is asking me, what is it asking? You are assigning parent node to child node object, which is not possible. Inheritance. Recollect inheritance. Child class object you can assign to parent class object, but parent class object you cannot assign to child class object. That issue it is. Now to remove this error, typecast. Romana, are you there, Romana? Are you following this stuff, what we are discussing? Okay. Now here, now we are getting first child node. Now I say en student. Yes. Execute control F5 and you will get now first child node. Yes. Only that node, 1001 node. Complete node, but 1001 S name, result, everything. If not like this, another technique I'll show you. XML element, en student, typecast, and you can say en students dot first child. Oh, same output you'll get. Yes, same output. See the difference of writing two lines also. One using child nodes collection, child nodes collection, and in the index position 0. Second node, I commented that line. Second way, direct I said. Dot first child. Yes. Now you can say this node you accessed. That is your first child. Now I want to access this node. Last one. Index position. Index position wise. Index position wise, I want to access. Okay, I'll comment this. I'll write separate. XML element en student typecast. XML element en student dot child node of 4. But it is wrong, right? How do you know it is 4? Because we have less data, we counted manually. As simple to answer. Less nodes now. We could manage it. Simple. Click, you'll get your last node. 4, 1005. That is not the way. You should not. How they definitely, if they ask you to write a program to access the last child node of your XML document, so you can't manually count because you may have thousands of thousands of students content in it. You can't write like 4. Then if not 4, what you have write? Okay, we'll write like this. En students dot child node dot count. Let's run, see what will happen. Control F5. Error. Why? Because count returns value as 5. 5 nodes. We want fourth node. -1. Execute. Click. Fourth node. This is correct. Logically, this is correct. Should not write 4. Better we find that. How many nodes are there? We will find. Lengthy. You should count. नहीं लिखेंगे. Let's not go with this. Best I feel best. XML element, EN student, typecast, EN student dot last child. But execute over counting index. Nothing required. Direct 100. Whatever might be a last one. This is also correct now. This is we found number of nodes minus 1. This direct we found last child. Remember, we have only two properties: first child, last child, second child, third child, fourth child, middle child, fifth child. We don't have all this. Only two properties: first child, last child. That's it. If you want in between, like second child, third child, you have to manage by using index position. There is no property available for that. Okay. Only to demonstrate I gave all this. Anyways, I'm going with my first process only. Okay, this one. First child. Now what I want, now what I want. We now tried accessing first child. Now we tried accessing last child. Can you answer? Can anyone answer? This is first child, last child of what? Of what? Student roll number 1001, student roll number 1005 are first and last child of what? Romana. Yep, correct. Romana, your answer. Yes. Student's root node. Now what I want, Now currently, if you go to this program, en student is containing this total node, na? This total node. Now in this node, I want to access only S name. Only S name. Oh, try then. XML element en name is equal to typecast, and you can say en student dot first child, and you change this to en name. Control F5. You will get only name node. Yes, S name, S1, S name. Now you study like this. This is first child of what? First child of what? Student. And student is what? First child of students. And result, this is last child of student, and student is first child of student. So this is first child, this is first child, this is last child. Obviously, in my coding, if I write last child here instead of first, if I write last child, I get output of result. Only term I change, term. And here also, instead of writing first child, it is not wrong if you say child nodes of 0. Not wrong. 100% you are right. And we are accessing first child, that this index position is 0, this index position is 1, this total index position is 0, this total index position is 4, this is 0, this is 1, 0 and 1 of this node, which is already 0. %. I am not changing, but you understand when I'm trying with this all 100% you need to understand. Just simply I said, now remove first and write last, you get your output now. Result, past, result. That's it. Okay. Now what I want, now I want to access S1. S1, S1. Only S1. Now to access S1, you should know this. What S1 is a first child of S name. And S name is first child of student. Student is first child of students. Bolo, what is S1 now? What is S1? What is S1? What is S1? Two answers you should give. Two answers. एक तो बोलना है. One you have to say. S1 is text node. Okay, fine, agreed. Second answer बोलना है. What you said, Romana has said. First child of S name. Or else you can say like this. Can I say like this? First child of first child. First child of first child. What is first child of first child? S1 is first child of S name first child. And what is S name? First child of student first child. An interesting thing is S1 is text node. So element, it is not element. So I have to change my class now. XML text TN name is equal to XML text typecast EN name dot first child. Now you change this to TN name, execute, and you will find S1. Up to no. Now listen carefully. What is S1 you say? Fast, fast you reply in chat panel. What is S1? First child. First child of S name. What is S name? First child of student. What is student? First child of student. Now interviews may they'll ask what is the hierarchy of S1 in order to get it access. Hierarchy of S1. Now your answer should be like this. First child dot first child dot first child. First child dot first child dot first child. Now listen. What is the hierarchy of past? First point, past this text node. Text node and it is first child of result. And what is result? Last child of student. And what is student? First child of student. Okay, everyone, did you understand what I said now? Ah, ah, okay. Now listen to me. Now listen to me. Only the student to whom I ask should respond through chat panel. I want you to say me what is the hierarchy of S5, Romana. What is the hierarchy of S5? Yeah, Srinivas, you send your answer now, Srinivas. What is the hierarchy of S5 node? S5. So S5 is I'll say now. I'll say the hierarchy. S5. Student is last child. This student, roll number 1005 is last child. S name is first child. And S5 is first child. So it is like this now. Last child dot first child dot first child. Last child dot first child dot first child. Yeah. Now you answer. Now you answer. Srinivas, what is the hierarchy of failed? Shortcut me, you write LC, FC, LC, write like that. Dot, dot, dot you use so that I understand. What is the hierarchy of failed? Failed it is. Correct you wrote, but you have interchanged that. You have interchanged that. Go through once again. This complete is last child. Ah, Romana, correct. Last child. Student roll number 1005 is last child. In that result is last child again. And in that failed is first child. So LC dot LC dot FC. Last child dot first child. Last child dot first child. Srinivas, did you understand? Okay. Yeah, Srinivas, again you only say. What is the hierarchy of S3? S3. Carefully you write. S3. What is the hierarchy of S3? No problem, Srinivas. Take your own time. Don't confuse. Don't confuse. No confusion, nothing. Take your own time. Take your own time. Yeah. Index position you have to use, na? Index position है रोमाना. तो 3 कैसा था वहां पे 2 आता ना. You said index position है writing 3 there. Index position 2 बोलना है वो. Index position of 2. Srinivas. No problem, Srinivas. Take your own time, but understand. Don't let it go. Any level of higher XML, you should be ready. If you are trying for a job with experience, you should be ready. You be ready. I'm there to excel this subject, especially this topic. 1 or 2 days here and there, that the things will happen. I said that I'll wind up this week. Don't worry about the completion of the course. My point is, when you're learning, learn thoroughly. Okay, Srinivas? So now what did I say now? Srinivas, you see, this 1002 to 1004. For these nodes to access, we don't have properties. We have only first child, last child. So I said, in between nodes, you have to use collections, child nodes. We have no child nodes, so that I have to use. So how do you write this now? You can say like this: hierarchy. For this I'm saying, for this, what you have to say: child nodes of 2 dot first child. Okay, that's it. If you want to know hierarchy of this past, so यहाँ पे बोलना है child nodes of 2 dot last child dot first child. Srinu, did you understand, Srinivas? Are you clear of this? Hmm. Conclude, Srinivas, now. Conclude. You conclude. What is the hierarchy of S4? S4, S4. Take your own time. Analyze thoroughly. S4 hierarchy I want. S4. And after that, we'll wind up this session. Tomorrow's class, we'll go little further on this part. Child nodes of 3 dot first child dot first child. Okay. Similarly, you conclude this also, Srinivas. Failed. This failed I want. This failed hierarchy I want. Failed hierarchy. Uh, no. Take, see once again, Srinivas. See once again. See once again. First answer is right, Srinivas. Last child it is. Result is also correct, Srinivas. Last child. But failed is first child. First child. First child. Here S5 is first child of set name. Failed is first child of result. Okay, Srinivas. Now you answer this, Srinivas. Answer this. S1. S1. Hierarchy of S1. और एक है ना, Srinivas. और एक है first child. One more. Yeah, na, Srinivas. This is first child. This complete is first child. In that S name is first child. This complete is first child. S1 is first child again. So FC dot FC dot FC. Anand, Anand, you conclude. What is the hierarchy of S5, Anand? S5 hierarchy. What is it? Srinivas, you say, what is the hierarchy of S5? Go through as once, Anand, go through once. Raghav, you also send your answer. What is S5? Hierarchy of S5. Romana, you also send your answer. Go through it, Anand, again. Your answer is wrong. S5 is last child dot first child dot first child. LC dot FC dot FC. LC dot FC dot FC. Okay. Tomorrow's class में one more part is still remained. After that, I'll show you how to perform, how to add nodes in this section. This all I created now today, copy pasted. You remember that how I created this? One I created. I copy pasted 4 times and I change values. That's what I did. Tomorrow I'll show you how to add a node into this XML file, writing a program, how to delete a node, how to modify a node. That part I'll cover tomorrow, and even I'll explain tomorrow how to access attributes. Today we learned only about a difference of first child, last child with index position, how to access that node. Only that part I covered. Chalo, right then.